Hello, I'm Andy McGregor and I'm a Programme Manager in the JISC Information Environment team. We've recently released a new call for proposals for rapid innovation projects in the area of the information environment. This call is for short projects up to 6 months long with funding available between £15,000 and £40,000. The deadline is the 22nd of April. The purpose of this presentation is to explain why we think that rapid innovation is a good approach. As JISC programme managers, we often get to talk to a lot of people in UK higher education, and one of the great privileges of being a programme manager is that people are always coming up to you and sharing their ideas and their opinions on how things should be done. And it's clear from these interactions that we work in an incredibly creative field in UK higher education, that people are very inventive and they're full of ideas. It's also clear from some interactions that people are very discontent about the way things are, and I don't mean this in a negative way. The great American inventor Thomas Edison had a lot of things to say about inventiveness, and I'll be using his quotes throughout this presentation. Edison said that discontent is the first necessity of progress, and that's often how discontent is used in UK higher education. People use their discontent with the way things are to find better ways to do things. And often the ideas that people come up with, or the discontent they have over things, is about small things, not necessarily things that lead to a big project, but just small ideas, something they want to try out. And really the purpose of the rapid innovation call is to support those smaller projects, those smaller ideas that people have. Often, as well, people have very speculative ideas that are very high risk, and sometimes it's safer to try them out with a smaller project because they've not got a high potential to work. So what we can do with the rapid innovation is try them out and have a go for the community. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, we can quickly move on. Another thing that Edison said was, I hear that President Wilson blunders. Well, at least he blunders forward. And that's what we believe the rapid innovation project will enable us to do, to have a look if something works quickly. If it doesn't work, we've learnt a lesson, we can move on. And really, overall, the whole purpose of these rapid innovation projects is to try and support the let's give it a go, let's try things out attitude that is so prevalent in UK higher education. So what do we actually mean by rapid innovation projects? Well, Thomas Edison said, hell, there are no rules here, we're trying to accomplish something. Well, sorry Thomas, JISC works with public money, so we have to impose a few rules on this call. However, we've made a conscious effort to be as lightweight in approach and as broad in scope as possible. Really, the scope comes down to the projects have to be relevant to the information environment. The information environment is all about managing information though, so that still leaves quite a broad scope. And if you want to know more about the information environment, look on the JISC website or look in the call document. There are a number of other rules that anyone bidding to this call will need to take account of, and there's a few different places people can go to find out about these rules. Obviously, first of all, there's the call document. However, if the call document doesn't answer your questions, there's still a couple of avenues you can look at. The first is the Information Environment Team blog, infteam.jiscinvolved.org. This has a number of posts on the call, and one of the posts has a podcast with a number of different project managers, program managers, talking about the call and what they mean by each of the sections in the call. Obviously, the Team blog, the Information Environment Team blog, that has comments. So if you want to ask questions, that's a good place to ask questions. Another good place to ask questions is an unofficial place. So it's not affiliated with JISC, it's actually provided by two members of the community, Joss Wynn and Tony Hurst. It's called their Right to Reply site, and what they've done is they've taken the call and repurposed it so people can comment on it section by section. That can be found at righttoreply.org/JISCRI. I'd advise anyone looking to bid to this call to head over to that site, because not only is it a good place to ask questions, it's also a very good place to find other people who are interested in bidding to this call, and perhaps to find even possible partners for your project. One thing we're very keen on with these rapid innovation projects is we're not interested in 20 projects in 20 different institutions operating in silos. What we want to do with these projects is to enable a community of like-minded people. Another Edison quote is, he said that the body is a community made up of its innumerable cells or inhabitants, and that's really the approach we want to try and foster with these rapid innovation projects. We want people to be able to get together, to share their ideas, to provide their outputs in an open fashion, to network, to make new contacts. And also, Edison said, I start where the last man left off, and we think that if people get together and share their outputs in an open fashion, then that will lead to better projects, as people can pick up other people's ideas and build them into the projects as they go. And obviously not just the rapid innovation projects, but other projects elsewhere. Now we realise this isn't going to happen by magic, that we have to support that in some way. So there are a couple of different projects which will help support this community building. The first is the IE demonstrator project, which is already running, and the second is a developer community project, which will start in a few months. Both of these will look towards providing avenues where people can share and collaborate, and also providing events where people can get together and network. Young Thomas Edison should have been a very happy boy, because he grew up to say, "I never did a day's work in my life, it was all fun." Well, this attitude is also quite prevalent among many people in UK higher education. They have a very enthusiastic approach to their job and their ideas, and we think these smaller projects will be able to support that attitude that people have, that playfulness, that enthusiasm that people bring to their ideas, the enthusiasm that drives them to bring their work home with them, to carry on working on their projects, to wake up in the morning with new ideas. We think that all that energy is fantastic and leads to really great outputs, and with these rapid innovation projects we hope to be able to support people with that approach. These projects are also, the point of these projects is really to provide really useful tools and outputs and lessons, and we don't think we'll do that without the user being firmly embedded in the project. So we're really keen on all these projects to have a strong user element to them, whether that's they have a strong use case, whether users are embedded in the project somehow, whether even within 6 months some iterative development is involved. We're really keen on that. Edison said the value of an idea lies in the using of it. And if these projects don't produce some things that users can look at and say, "Oh, cool, I can see how that would affect my day-to-day work," then I don't think we succeeded. So, it's all very good waffling on about playfulness, but what does actually a post-rapid innovation world look like? What will these projects actually do for the community at large? Well, the first thing they'll do is provide a community. I've already spoken about this earlier. This picture here is from one of the days of the Developer Happiness Days event, which we ran in February of 2009. This event was very successful at getting developers from across higher education, from commercial sectors, from museums, from other countries, together with users and allowing them to collaborate in an open fashion. It was a really successful event and loads of really fantastic outputs were produced, and we really want to build on this approach with these projects and with the other projects I've mentioned which will support this kind of approach. And we think that if we can really build on this community and make it strong, then software development within higher education will benefit. Obviously, we'd hope these projects would actually produce things, whether that's a tool, whether it's a technique, an idea or a lesson. We really want things that will be able to be used by end users or picked up by other projects to be further developed. And a good example of how this works is the SWORD project, which was a rapid innovation project initially to develop a repository deposit protocol, and it's been picked up everywhere and reused lots, and that's the kind of output we think can be enabled by this rapid innovation approach. We also think these projects will generate excitement and a glimpse of the future. Perhaps not all the things produced will be things that people can pick up and use straight away. Some of them will be things that people say, "Oh right, yeah, I see how that might work in a few years' time if we adopt that idea." And really, we want to try and share our excitement and our glimpse of the future with as wide an audience as possible. And we think that UK higher education will be better if we can evangelise our ideas and really show people how we think that software development will be in the future of UK higher education. So, as you can probably tell by this rather gushing presentation, we're really excited about this call. We think it will produce really nifty software and plant plenty of acorns that may grow into greater things. We've declared a tag for this called JISC, and it's been fantastic to see people start to use that already. There's been people we're not aware of who've popped up saying they're interested. There's been people making new contacts using it. So if you are interested in this call, I'd really encourage you to blog or tweet anything you produce to really, if you can, tag it with the JISC so that other people can find you. You can start to build a network that JISC people can find you and answer your questions if necessary. So, I really look forward to reading any proposals that people submit to this call, and I hope as many of you submit as possible. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.